Welcome to another mini video from 2dgameartguru.com. Today I'm working in Affinity Designer to show you how to easily create adjustable eyes using symbols. The focus of this video is on the eyes, but I'll quickly show you how I created the basic head shape. Underneath, I'll split the screen to show you the wireframe. It's a really simple setup of mirrored circular shapes that I deformed. The head itself is a circle elongated with a few extra nodes. The majority of those shapes are highlights and shadows using a Gaussian blur to soften them. The cheekbones and a circular shape on the nose have a little bit of color, a red that I set to overlay to mix nicely with the skin color. For more info, you might want to watch my video on shading a face that I recorded a while back. I use basic shapes, symbols, tapered strokes, and Gaussian blur as the main effect to create the eyes. Let's start with the circle tool, create an ellipse and turn it into a symbol for easy mirroring. Convert it to curves and use the node tool to deform and shape it. For this video, I chose a more exaggerated style, very common to Pixar movies. You can use the same approach with more realistic proportions and features. I duplicate and scale the initial shape, color it white to shade the eyeball. I place it inside the original shape as a child object to a clipping mask before adding a stroke with an adjusted pressure curve. The pressure curve allows me to erase parts of the stroke by pulling the nodes all the way to the bottom. Due to the small UI of the pressure curve, it is a little bit fiddly, but it is very flexible and easy to adjust. For the eyelashes, I use simple tapered lines, duplicate them and place them behind the eye. I create a circle for the iris, a duplicate for the color, the pupil, and a highlight. The color shape gets a Gaussian blur to fade towards the darker rim of the iris. For more shading of the color, I add a circle at the bottom, set it to overlay and give it a Gaussian blur. The color itself gets a transparent gradient to fade towards the top. For added detail, I create short tapered lines, place them inside the iris, set the layer blend mode to overlay for a nice color mix, and use the power duplicate with an adjusted pivot point to create an interesting pattern. I select the symbol, not its content. To duplicate the symbol, place it on the other side of the face, select both and align them. One of my pet peeves with eyes is the mirrored highlight. You can avoid that by turning the sync off, move the highlight and turn the sync back on. Any change you make now will be synchronized except for the highlight, which is no longer synchronized for the left eye. If I would create another copy, it would still be fully synchronized. You can see the highlight stops moving. I have to manually adjust that. I can do that with the sync on or with the sync off. You can see it in the layer panel. The layer has a dashed orange line at the very left, which shows you that part of the symbol is no longer synchronized. For this example, I add the eyebrows straight to the symbol. Tapered lines make it easy to adjust the eyebrows. I can make them thicker on the inside and fade them out towards the outside of the face. Lines have the big advantage that they are easy to manipulate. I can change the shape of the eyebrows. Creating the eyebrows outside the symbol is the cleaner approach. That way you can have individual shapes. I chose the fast and easy approach and attached the eyebrows to the symbol. With the key elements in place, it is easy to make adjustments to this setup. I can change the color of the iris, I can change the shape of the eye by just using the node tool. Working off basic shapes has the advantage of fewer nodes. The eye is just made up of 4 nodes which are easily adjustable. In order to clip the iris, I place it inside the eye shape. I use an edit tapered line for the fold of the eyelid. I can easily adjust the colors, change the eyebrows by changing the stroke color of the eyebrows and the detailed lines on top. I can add eyeshadow by placing a shape behind the eye, softening it with the Gaussian Blur, converting it to curves and adjusting the shapes with the node tool. After that, it's a matter of finding the right blend mode that works for the effect you're after. I usually pick overlay, multiply, color or glow for those kind of effects. I add a few freckles. When you create variations of symbols, you need to create a new symbol. For that, I duplicate the symbol, only to realize I made a little bit of a mess of my layers. I duplicated a whole layer rather than just the symbol when I created the left eye. I fixed that, and it helps to have a look at your layer panel every now and then. I select the duplicate of the symbol and ungroup it. That way it turns from a symbol back to a group of shapes, and then create a new symbol from this group. Adjusting this symbol will just change the 2 eyes I have on the screen. Now if you look at the symbols panel, the initial eye with the lighter eyebrow is left unchanged. I nearly forgot to fix the mirrored highlight. I turned the sync off, move one of the highlights over, and that's it. It's easy to create eyes using basic shapes, symbols, tapered strokes, and Gaussian Blur, along with changing the blend modes to mix colors in a richer way. Have a play with this, do your own, create more realistic, more cartoony eyes, work with variations. It is so much fun, and once you have the setup, it is really easy to adjust. Give the eyes different expressions, from scared to angry to freaked out. It's all in the eyes. I had a lot of fun with this tutorial, and I think it's the 3rd or 4th video tutorial I did on eyes, and it's still one of the most fun things to do. Give it a try, play around with it. I put the source file of these 6 eyes up on my Gumroad page, so you have a quick start if you want to play around with my setup. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and learned something new, please subscribe to my channel, leave a like, turn on the notification, and let me know in the comments below what you would like to see on my channel, and I will see you again soon.